But ideally, if you're just going to keep quiet and you see someone sinning, you see someone doing wrong, yeah, it's almost like you're supporting them. Being quiet is just as good as supporting them because you're not stopping them. And these things, the Bible is very clear that, bad company corrupts good morals. It's not just a saying. It's not just something which sounds nice or something which you're just trying to, it was put in the Bible just to stop you from being with bad people. It's very true. And that's where you hear, a number of times you hear parents say, my child was very good, my son was very good, my daughter was very good. I don't know what happened. And it's because of the bad company which they find in schools or where they meet after.
Welcome to Imago Day, a podcast by women for women, where we discuss what it means to be an image bearer. We seek to apply biblical wisdom to everyday life situations for our growth and glorification of God.
Good afternoon, Auntie Miriam. How are you this lovely day?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm doing very well, thanks. It's been a number of weeks since I've seen you. I'm glad to be back.
Indeed.
To have another session with you. What are we looking at today?
Today we're looking at cultivating authentic relationships.
That sounds very heavy and interesting.
I was even taking in a lot of air when saying cultivating authentic relationships. Yes, it is.
Okay.
So, how are your relationships? Before we go into the details of cultivating.
My relationships in terms of friendships? Oh, okay. So I think I like to say I know a lot of people, but I have very few close friends. So I will generally, like for example, on my birthday, I will receive a lot of birthday messages, but the day after my birthday, then I'll continue talking to my friends. which I think is quite interesting. So I think when it comes to friendships, I think just generally I will say I have a few close friends, a few friends who I know I can talk to every day, and some who I don't really need to talk to every day, but I know I can rely on. Certain friends who I know I'll only speak to when I need something, and they'll equally do the same, and certain friends who are there only for laughs. Not everyone. I had an interesting conversation with one of my friends. I think it was about a year ago or so. I had a habit of saying, anyone who you know is your friend. And, she kept emphasizing when I would say, oh no, your friend did this. Did you hear this good news about your friend? Or said something about your friend. She'd always say, no, that's not my friend. That's someone who I know or someone who I've spent some time with. But they are not someone who I call my actual friend. This and this person are actually my friend. So I think it would be nice to just go into what definition of a friend is and just understanding what friendship actually is, or having a relationship with someone actually is.
It is true, because at times we take it for granted. When we meet a person, automatically we say, oh, that's my friend.
My friend, exactly.
Because we've met them 2-3 days, oh, that's my friend.
Yes.
Or meet my friend so and so. I don't know whether we're trying to be polite, or I don't know whether it is just a word that easily comes to just say a friend.
But then I think, now that you've said that, I think, in my opinion, I feel like all these people are our friends, but it's just the level of friendship, just because you've had maybe a conversation with this person 5 times, they're not going to be your best friend. But that doesn't stop the fact that they might be your friend, but in a certain category of friendship. Yes.
When I was looking at what our podcast is for today, cultivating authentic friendships, I went actually, we take it for granted. We think friendship is just something that just happens. It's something that you work at, you cultivate. So the first thing we do is, what does it mean to cultivate? So to prepare something. Before I call somebody a friend, it's like we need to prepare ourselves. We need to prepare that person. It's like preparing the land to plant something.
Exactly.
You don't just go and plant.
No.
You need to weed. You need to make sure that where you're planting, the soil is fertile and things like that. So friendship also does that. We need to cultivate. We need to say, okay, for example, if somebody introduced you to me, I need to have time to really get to know who Chimwemwe is, because we have a habit of assuming or making assumption of a person by just looking at them.
But I think it's very interesting that you say that, you need to cultivate yourself and I just want to know how best that can be done, in terms of friendship. What do I need to do? What does someone else need to do, in order to cultivate a genuine friendship or relationship? What is the cultivating process which you would advise?
It is, let's get to know each other. Hi, my name is Miriam Lupunga and I live in Nyukasama. This is what I do. To just get to know a person. And I'm a Christian and I live in this place and I get involved in these things. This is what I do. So you're getting to know me as me, not as a person that you've been introduced to. So we usually have friends that we can say by associate, because I have a friend who is this one and that one, and they associate with that one. So automatically they become my friend.
Yes.
So we need to take time to get to know each other.
So it has to do with a lot of being deliberate about the friendship.
Exactly.
Spending time, actually communicating, texting, calling, and just being deliberate about having the friendship with a specific person.
Exactly. So friendship is a two-way road. It's not just me cultivating, I like Chimwemwe, I want her to be my friend. I can come and try to cultivate and to really dig around. If there are rocks, it's a rocky ground, it won't happen.
Which is true. That does happen. There's certain people who you may like from a distance. Say, okay, I'd like to be this person's friend. But then, when you try and maybe talk to them, you see they're just not interested.
Yes. So fair. So we need to spend some time together, get to know each other. So for me to really call you, that one is my friend. And the other interesting word was authentic. I looked at the word authentic and I was like, something that is genuine, something that is not...
That's the first word which came to my mind as well, authentic, genuine.
Yes, something that is original. And then I looked and then I asked myself,
how many genuine friends do you have?
Exactly. Yeah. Because even me, to myself, I asked myself, am I really genuine to myself?
Yeah.
So I was telling myself, then it is really hard to have, to cultivate a friendship that is really genuine. Because one, I look at myself, I'm a sinner. I have so many flaws. And how do I expect to have a friend who is flawless, who is genuine, who is... So I saw that to have a friendship authentic, that I can just say, no, that one is like 100% genuine. It's very hard. So I said, okay, if it is hard to have a friend who is genuine enough, now what is friendship? How can I describe friendship when I refer to people? Chimwemwe is my friend. Margaret is my friend. How is she my friend? What does the word friendship mean? So that we get to know really when we're calling people friends, we're understanding each other.
Yes.
So I went and asked Uncle Google and said, what does friendship mean? So Uncle Google says friendship means a bond between two people that connect. And then that they share each other's feelings and thoughts.
Okay.
So we connect together, we share our thoughts, our feelings. You're a person you're more like my confidant. I can pour everything to you, you can pour everything to me. And then I said, okay. Start looking around and said, there are some friends who go like, okay, that one is a friend that I can talk to when I have this issue. That one, like you said, just for laughs. I have a friend who is just for laughs. I have a friend that we party with. But is that genuine? If I ask you that question, is that genuine?
I think something which is important is to be able to differentiate a perfect friend and a genuine friend. I think it'd be putting too much pressure on ourselves end on our friends if we expect them by virtue of us saying they're genuine, they should be perfect, they should have no flaws, they should have no issues. That's not going to happen, because like you said, we're born sinners, we make mistakes, we won't always be there for our friends when they need us, which doesn't mean that you're not a genuine friend. I think it's what you're going to bring to the table. If your friend needs you at a bad time, how do you make yourself available during, there are tough times? If your friend is mourning, how do you make yourself available during that time? Sometimes you may not be available, but it's something simple, like maybe sending a thoughtful message, a thoughtful verse, sending maybe money to the funeral house because for one reason or another you can't be there. But if you're going to expect someone to be there the moment you open your mouth and just show, that's not going to happen, because now you're expecting perfection from an imperfect person.
It is true. It is true. Yeah. So when I looked at those 3 words, I went like, okay, this is quite interesting. We do look for friendship. We all have friendship. So the most important thing for us to know is that for me to have a friendship to work, I need to work at it. I need to cultivate. And for it to be authentic, we need to more like lay our cards on the table. I know that it won't be as perfect as we want it to be, because we are both sinners. But we're at least going to have a friendship that is honest.
Yes.
Why do I say that? The relationship that we have, I have with God, you have with God, there when we bring it in the middle of our friendship, which holds the bond of this friendship, is what will build us up, is what will help us to have this authentic relationship, is what will help us to have this genuine relationship. Because when we have friendship, it's not about me. It's not about just you. It's about encouraging one another. It's about building one another. So when I was looking at this type of friendship, I went like, okay, friendships do vary. There are types of friendship where there's husband and wife. There's a friendship of boyfriend. There's a girlfriend. Oh, that's just a friend, as my boy is a friend. Okay. When I was growing up, there was no such a thing. My mother said, no girl can have a boy as a friend. It's impossible.
So you were not allowed to have any male friends growing up?
No.
That's very interesting. Did you have any friends who were boys? Oh, that's the different question.
Definitely. I did have a lot. Actually, very surprising. Most of my friends were boys.
Oh,
I never had girls as friends.
No, you don't say.
It's true. I never had boys as friends, girls as friends.
Oh,
all my friends were boys, and my mom used to find that very strange. She used to tell me, no girl has a boy as a friend. And I'll tell her, but they're just my friends. And whenever they came, is she around? We're going to play. And then she would go, why do you have boys as friends? They are my friends. No girl has boys as friends, but I had. So a boyfriend, a girlfriend, things like that. And when you're in a relationship, then all those business partners, all those are relationships that we have. So in all these relationships, when we list them down, when we write them down, the major thing that should be there is one, we need to build it up, to cultivate it, as in building, planting, weeding, putting fertilizer, making it, nourishing it up. And then it has to be genuine. Because if I call you a friend, I have to be truthful to you. You have to be truthful to me. Like we said earlier, that these things are very impossible because we are sinners. We tend to step on each other's foot. We tend to... You tell me something, don't tell anyone. And then when somebody's talking about something, I'm like, that reminds me, Chimwemwe was saying, I'm already spilling the beans. So we are people who are fallen. We are sinners. And when we are sinners, we tend to mislead one another, abuse our friendship, to say. So for us to have a friendship moving forward, is how can we cultivate a friendship that can be genuine, that I can say, truly, Chimwemwe is my friend. Even if I'm a sinner, she's a sinner. When we are relating with people, we tend to forget that we are sinners. We actually think more like, no, this one can't disappoint me. This one can't do nothing wrong to me.
We tend to always hold our friends in high regard.
Yes, yes. We don't think that they're people that can hit us.
No, I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, otherwise you're always looking for room to be disappointed.
But leave room. There's somebody who said always leave room for disappointment.
But I've heard that, and I mean it allows your heart to break less.
Not to
because shattered because your friend has not done something you wanted them to do.
Yeah, so for us to do that, we need to understand, not to go in with the thought of, okay, I will leave room for Chimwemwe to disappoint me. No, but to go in understanding that Chimwemwe is a sinner.
Exactly.
I am a sinner. When I understand that, then we'll know how to deal with it.
Exactly.
Because if I don't understand that Chimwemwe is a sinner, I'm going in expecting that Chimwemwe is perfect, and I want her to be perfect. Even when people tell me, no, Chimwemwe will hate your girl. No, she's my best friend. This will never happen, and things like that. She can't hate me. And when that thing happens, it's like it tears us up. So our friendship should be built on, one, knowing that God Himself gives us His friendship, which He Himself is an unchangeable God. He never changes. He's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And He shows us how, in the scriptures, how we can build this friendship, understanding each other, that where we are going, Chimwemwe, from here, our friendship should be like this. So that even if, as they say, when trees are closer together, even if they hit each other, we won't injure each other. We won't kill each other. We won't, I'll go this way, you go that way, and then I'll fail to talk to each other. So I wanted us to look at the importance when we are cultivating friendship. If you introduce me to a person who is your friend, how do I need to definitely cultivate that friendship? Is it a must? Because we tend to think, because Chimwemwe introduced me, so it's a must I should be their friend.
I should be their friend.
No. So we need to choose friends. That's where the thing is. Most of our friends are handed down to us.
Do you think so?
Most of our friends. Because you've met someone who is a friend to that one, and then they introduce them to you, and then you've met 2-3 times, then they become
your friend. Yeah.
They're handed out to us. So at times we don't take time to cultivate. I don't know. That's the way I look at it. I don't know about you. How did you meet your friend?
I think it just depends with circumstances. I think something which has been quite prominent for me and a number of my close friends is the certain settings. Like for me, I'll say my closest friends are those who I met in high school. In a number of my friends from primary school, I don't even know where they are. In university, yes, I've still got my close friends, but I think the ones who I'm closest to and who have are one text or one call away are those who are from high school. And I think it's just the setting, There's still people who we meet now, and even as the days go on, who can still be very good friends, quite all right. But I think it goes back to the setting, as you mentioned as well. Some friends are handed down. There'll be some friends who will only be your friend because they're your friend's friend. Yes.
So it's quite interesting that you have friends from high school. I can't remember. I don't even know where my friends
are. Are you serious? Oh, wow.
No, wait. As you're growing older, you actually see that your circle friends.
I want all my friends. Don't tell me this. I want all my friends.
As you're growing older.
No, but it's true. It's true. I mean, I'm seeing it even now.
I remember I used to have a lot of friends. But where I'm seated, there are very few that I can say. They're a handful. I can actually count them. But yeah, you choose your friends. How do we do that? How do I choose a friend that will help me grow? A friend that I should choose, I am a God-fearing person. I should choose a friend that is God-fearing. Because if I have a friend who is not God-fearing, there is a high likelihood that that person will lead me
astray. Yes. Exactly.
So we're told we should look for people who are God-fearing. So are my friends God-fearing? Because the most important thing for me, the most important thing in my life is my relationship with God. When I was listening to the conference, there's something that stuck in my head. We think one teacher or preacher said, everything else, all relationships actually they die down. The only relationship that remains
And which matters.
is a relationship with God.
Yes.
So whether I die today because of the pandemic or whether I live on, the most relationship that matters is with God.
Exactly.
So my relationship, my choosing of friends should be in such a way that this person, I fear God. They should also be God fearing. And we can find that in the scriptures if we can turn to Psalm 119 and verse 63. You see that when you think alike, you are alike. It's quite encouraging.
So you said Psalm 119, 63?
63, yes.
The Bible reads, I am a companion of all who fear you and of those who keep your precepts.
So you see, my companion are the people that I hang out with, those who fear you. So if the people that I hang out with don't fear God, they'll blaspheme. They'll say things about God because they don't fear God. And then I'll be like cringing inside. If I say something, my friends will think I'm not cool. For teenagers, they'll think my friends.
Not even teenagers, even older people. Don't just say teenagers. Yes.
Then my friends will think I'm not cool. But we are told that if I'm with people, my friends who we think alike, we fear the same thing. When they say something, we'll all go like, "Oh, I'm sorry," but just
you can't say that.
You can't just step out of line. So we need to choose friends. It's not just about making friends. Maybe because I was with them in high school, or maybe because we live in the same neighborhood, or maybe because we were once best friends when we
were younger.
And things like that. As you're growing, or when you become a Christian, when you are a child of God, it's like everything around you changes. Yes. And then you have to have friends who are courteous. You cannot have friends that just are disrespectful. If we can go... If we can look at Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26, and let's just see that we need to choose friends who are able to guide us in right ways, people who are courteous. So if you found Proverbs chapter 12 and verse 26, please read that with me.
The Bible reads, the righteous should choose his friends carefully, for the way of the wicked leads them astray.
So here you go, you've got a friend who's just
always talking.
And they don't mind what they say. Disrespectful words when they meet people. And, at times when you're among friends and your friend is more like loud or maybe doesn't know how to behave, and they won't say Chimwemwe's friend. They're friends. So you're like in the same group. You are in the same circle, you're in the same WhatsApp group. So we classify you. You are part of that.
Yeah, all the same.
Yes. So we need to choose friends who help us. So that even people who are hot-tempered, we should be careful when we're choosing friends. That is Proverbs chapter 22 and verse 24 to 25.
Proverbs 22, verse 22 to 25 reads, do not rob the poor because he is poor. Am I reading the right thing?
Chapter 22, verses 24.
Okay. Verse 24 reads, Proverbs 22, verse 24 reads, make no friendship with an angry man, and with a furious man do not go, lest you learn his ways and set a snare for your soul.
We think, I have a friend. We even at times get proud. He has got a
short temper.
When we're saying it, he's hot-tempered, he's short-tempered, you need to tread with him with care. But in the scriptures we're told, don't make friends with such people, because you end up being like them.
You might end up just being just like them.
Exactly. And then there we go. You keep keeping your company, the people that, what we've just come from talking about. 1 Corinthians talks about the people that we keep. 1 Corinthians chapter chapter 15. Yes. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. Wake up from your drunken stupor, as is right, and do not go on sinning. We should not be deceived. For some have no knowledge of God. I say this to you, to your shame. We think that, no, my friend drinks, or my friend is like that. But me, it's like we're even glad when they're told, you're the one that sobers me up. We have such friends that go like, no, when I'm around you, I sober up. No, when I'm around you, I'm like this. No, you actually keep me in check. But we need to make good choices when we are making friendship. It is the most important thing, because whatever friendship you make out there is what actually helps you, shapes you. Remember that your life, your soul belongs to God. At the end of the day, how am I glorifying God? We're also told that do not have friends who actually make you go in doing things, mob justice. They're those friends that they just look for where there's trouble. Oh, there's a riot.
That's where they go.
You're there with your phone, or you're there, you're screaming, or yes, we want change. Yes, we want. But I mean, in the end, how does that glorify God? So when we're making friends, we should choose friends that will help us glorify God.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's. I think you said a lot of very important facts. It's important to ensure that even as we're choosing friends, I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with making friends who are not Christians. But the idea is you should be their friend to help them transform. Not you should be their friend and you're just accepting whatever they're doing, which is wrong, which you know is wrong, and I'm trying to remember a phrase which I just remembered. I think I'll bring it up when I do remember it. But ideally, if you're just going to keep quiet and you see someone sinning, you see someone doing wrong, yeah, it's almost like you're supporting them. Being quiet is just as good as supporting them, because you're not stopping them. And these things, the Bible is very clear that, bad company corrupts good morals. It's not just a saying. It's not just something which sounds nice or something which you're just trying to, it was put in the Bible just to stop you from being with bad people. It's very true. And that's where you hear, a number of times you hear parents say, my child was very good, my son was very good, my daughter was very good. I don't know what happened. And it's because of the bad company which they find in schools, or where they meet after school, or, in any, there's so many situations at work, at home, just in various situations where you can meet bad friends and meet bad company. But I think in your choice of friendships, you're equally supposed to protect yourself. Yeah. Because if you find yourself with bad company, you're likely to pick up on those bad traits as well.
That's true.
And I love one thing which you mentioned, your friendships should glorify God. You should be with people who are going to sharpen you. When you're going astray, they should be able to say, Chimwemwe, come back. Auntie Miriam, I think this route which you're taking, it's leading you in the wrong direction. You're headed into the wrong direction. And it's very important, because not only are they building you, but they're helping you to glorify God. I know God is happy when He sees us with people who are helping us glorify Him, helping us be better people, helping us grow. But that doesn't mean that we should completely stay away from sinners, because I think I've mentioned this before in one of our previous podcasts, that sometimes it might be the only Bible which someone sees or gets. And so if you choose to stay away from non-believers, you're keeping God away from them. You might think you are trying to be smart and say, oh no, I'm protecting myself. Of course, there are people who are just toxic, and you know that maybe this is someone else's saving grace. This is not for me to save. God is going to convict someone else, who's going to pick out someone else who's going to assist this person, because they will only make me a bitter person. They'll make me a bad person. Yeah. But when you're in a place where you can see that, this person can be helped, and I personally feel like, God has instructed me to help this person, then you should not shy away or stay away from that particular person, and you just try and build a friendship. And with friendships, like I think I mentioned in the beginning when we just started, there's certain levels of friendship. There's certain people who God will make you begin a friendship with solely for the purpose of teaching them who God is. After that, there's nothing for you. There's no friendship to continue cultivating. Whereas there are others where he will want you to continue to speak to them, to mentor them, to assist them with certain things in their lives, and that will be an ongoing friendship. There are seasonal friendships as well. And I think in all of this, what we should be able to understand, even in cultivating genuine friendships, that some genuine friendships will be seasonal friendships. When it comes to things to do with school, when it comes to do with things to do with church, things to do with work, there's certain people who will only appear or will only be present in those areas, and others who will be all rounders. They will be there with you through school, through work, through friendship, through family, through all these situations. But it's just understanding, what role this particular person plays in my life. Just because you make a good Christian friend today doesn't mean they should be involved in every part of your life. And that's something which we can easily miss. And that's where you find people who share all their details. Sometimes you meet people and they're sharing all their details about their lives, and you're like, I don't know you yet. I don't think you should be telling me all these details. But
that reminds me, I gave a lift to somebody, and then when they wanted a lift, I was leaving home. I was going into town, so they said, "Oh, may I jump on your car?" I said, "Oh, sure." Get them a lift. I was with my niece. Oh boy, didn't they tell me this? And she kept on talking, and it was my first time
meeting her.
One, so she had just moved in the area, so she was asking who I was, where I was staying. And when I dropped her off, I went like, wow. Okay, those are details.
Yeah,
that is a lot to handle. So at times we tend to really impress ourselves so much on a person because we want to be their friends. But there are those that immediately when you meet them, you just let loose.
Yeah.
I have people that have never interacted with me. They just see me by sight. They go like, that is a very difficult person. I've had people who come to me and go like, you know what? The first time I saw you, I just went like, you don't smile? I said, really? Me, I'm not that I smile. And then you look so serious when you're walking or you're passing, we just see you just look serious. But when I get to know you, things were like, this person is actually
a very kind and talkative person.
Oh, talkative. So it was so shocking. So at times we tend to really put so much pressure in wanting to make friends. But like we said, God gave us all things. So the most important thing that we need to do when I meet a person, if really that person needs to be a friend of mine, Lord, you've brought him away in my area where you have placed me. What is my purpose in her life, or what is her purpose in my life? Where is this friendship leading us? Can you guide us? Like that, we'll know even as we're building this friendship, even as we're making the choices, looking at what is important in my friendship with this person. We would have prayed. We would have, God would have directed us
and approved
whether this is a friendship or this is just I've met you. Hi, hello, I'm Chimamwe. I live in the area. Oh, good to know you. The next time I meet you, hi. Yeah. So that's the thing that we need to understand also about friendship. But also when we have a friend that we're calling a friend, we need to know that friends encourage one another. Like you said, people that can spur me, people that can help me grow, somebody that can encourage me, somebody that can rebuke me. A friendship is not one that I just let you loose to do whatever you want.
That's definitely not friendship.
Because it's like a parent. I always remember my mom, whenever she spanked me, she would go like, I spank you because I love you. What's the connection between spanking and love? I tell you these things because I love you. I went, she just come from being brutal. And then she told me that she loves me. But now I understand. You cannot correct a person that you do not love in most cases. In the same way, God corrects us. God tells us. God chastens us because we do things which are wrong, because we are his children. A person who has children and they love, you cannot let your child go astray. It's the same with our friendship. I cannot let you go astray if I really love you and I have the best interest for you at heart. I should be able to come to you and say, Chimwemwe, apa na apa unaruvyanya. We should be able to build each other. We should be able to sharpen one another. We should be able to encourage one another, to bear with each other, whatever we're going through. We should be able to say, apa tinaruvyanya, I'll bear with Chimwemwe. Apa naine ningaruvyanya, she'll bear with me.
Yeah.
We should not say, there's some friendship where people they were once good friends and then they don't talk to each other.
Our friendship just ends.
And then when you say something, no, she stepped on my toe and she didn't apologize. When you ask the other person, go like, I don't know, we just
drifted.
She stopped picking up my calls. She stopped. You who is hurt, you know that you're hurt, but you're not able to tell the person that me, I'm hurt. That one is busy trying to cultivate you. You're busy moving aside until the whole friendship thing
just comes to an end.
Yes, so I just want us to read maybe 2 passages on building and encouraging one another and the importance of just friendship. If we can turn to 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 11 and read that one so that we see the importance of friendship, and Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 17. So that we see the importance of friendship, so that we see where we're going with this, with our friendship. Proverbs 27 and verse 17.
Okay, I start reading. Proverbs 27 verse 17, the Bible reads, As iron sharpens iron, so a man sharpens the countenance of his friend.
So you should be able to sharpen me. I should be able to sharpen you. I should not only be a friend at the receiving end. Friendship.
No, that's not right.
So friendship should be one which balances.
Exactly.
If you receive, I receive. If I receive, you receive. So we should be able to sharpen one another. We should be able to rebuke one another without feeling, hey,
yeah.
Because you've said something that I've done which is not right. So it is 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 11 says, again, if 2 lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? Sorry, I was actually reading Ecclesiastics. Maybe let me just finish the Ecclesiastic one so that we go to Thessalonians. Again, if 2 lie together, they keep warm. But how can one keep warm alone? And though a man might prevail against one who is alone, 2 will withstand him. A 3-hold cord is not quickly broken. So if we are 2 and we are holding together, we lean against the door. It's hard for one person who is out there to come inside. So if we are 2 and we are building one another, we are encouraging one another, we are holding firm, we are glorifying God together, we are building each other. So 2 are better than 1. And then 1 Thessalonians 5:11 says, therefore encourage one another and build one another up just as you are doing. We should be able to be building each other. This is a friendship that is building. It's not one person who is building and the other one is seated. Therefore, build one another. You building, I'm building. We're meeting in somewhere so that this building can look nice.
Yes.
So that it doesn't look bent. We're building together. So that's the importance of friendship. And a friend is able to be there, like you said earlier, through bad times. Come rain,
come sunshine.
Not when I have a funeral. It's like you're the only friend who has excuses. No, I'm not able to come today. No, I'm not able. Yes, there are times that we know it's hard to be there, but a friend is always there for a friend. You feel the pain with your friend. There are some friends who are there when you have money. when you are somewhere, when you've made it, you see that you have a lot of friends. The moment that you have had that status of yours, lose it.
And they all scamper.
And then look for your friend. When you don't have status, look for your friend. You find that maybe there was only one person, and that person was not really forthcoming, was not really there, was not really forceful. But those who were like the loudest, start looking for them, catch them. So when you call them, no, I'm busy, no, I'm this. So friendship tends to, we need to be friends with people that, I would say, like-minded. I don't know whether I would say it correctly.
No, that sounds
we
good.
need to be like-minded. We need to have the same goal, because friendship is not, it's not about partying. It's not about it's not about partying. It's not about just going out there. It's about, at the end of the day, it's the glory of God. We are in the business of glorifying God as Christians, as image bearers of God. Yeah. So we should be forgiving. Even as we are coming to an end, when we're thinking about friendship, it's about forgiving. We talked about it earlier that we are sinners. How can I be a friend to a person who doesn't forgive me?
Yeah, it's very difficult.
So we should be people that are forgiving, are compassionate to one another, and also that together we can indeed glorify God. I don't know, your thoughts? I think I've spoken too much.
I think I do agree with you. Friendship requires a lot of forgiving, like we had mentioned just earlier on. Because we're sinners, sometimes we tend to step on each other's toes. I mean, even with your closest friend, I'm sure you've experienced it. I've personally experienced it. Some of my closest friends, we argue, we fight, but at the end of the day, what's important is to forgive and go back to normal. To normal, exactly. I'm trying to remember a situation. I think I was having a conversation with one of my friends, and they were telling me how they were upset with one of their friends, and they were asking me, what should they do? Should I end this friendship? And I said, remember how many times God has forgiven you for the number of wrong things you've done. And if you're supposed to be imitating God in everything that you do, there's no way that when someone hurts your feelings this one time, you just want to step out. It may not be easy, but you have to forgive. And, give yourself time, because what you don't want to do is to pretend.
Indeed.
But give yourself time, forgive them, and go back to where you started from.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's definitely something which is cardinal in friendships as well, not to step on each other's toes, to, even when you do, take it as it comes, be good to your friend, be courteous, rebuke them lovingly. Don't just be out to get them, out to insult them, because now I've been holding in all these things for so long. Now that you've done this one bad thing to me, now I'm going to come back at you. No, that's not how it should be.
Yeah.
We should friendships, I think, are something which are very sensitive. It's very easy, especially with close friends who all their secrets. It's very easy to just break someone's heart, just pierce them with something which they hold so close to their heart. But it's just something we have to be just very deliberate about, very considerate in our friendships. It requires us to be very loving, to be very honest, and just understand as well, just what friendship means to you and what type of friendship you hold with a specific person.
Yeah. It's when you say that, actually, I was just going back to the word authentic. I was just deliberate. You need to be genuine. We need to be. It is a lot of work to have friends. It is a lot of work to be in a friendship. So what we should remember is that when I have a friend, how am I growing my friend? And how is my friend growing me?
Exactly.
Because if I have been in a relationship, in this friendship with you, Chimuni, for the past 10 years, there's no growth. Then there's a problem.
There's a big problem.
Let's both of us walk our separate ways, because there's nothing that we're doing that is helping us build one another. Because a friendship builds. A friendship helps to grow. Anything that you cultivate grows. So we're in a mission to grow one another, to build one another, to, at the end, our chief end is to glorify God. Whether be it at work, whether be it at school, whether be it at home with my friends at home. When I sit down with my other ladies, I'm coming over for a cup of tea. Sure, come. How are we spending our time?
Exactly.
Yes, I know it's not always all the time that we say, you've come, let's have Bible study. You've come. Just say in our friendship, how are we doing it? And I sit there and say, let me tell you what you said. Let me do this. You're talking about other people. You're not building each other.
Definitely not.
If you come, you say, I want to show you this new pattern that I've learned how to crochet, to knit and this. And then there we're talking about other things, how we can help each other. We're building ourselves up to the glory of God because we're sharpening each other's ways, in different ways to make money or to do other things. Our friendship should be at the end of the day to glorify God.
Exactly.
If we find that in my friendship, you and me, whenever we sit, there's always a name in between. I think if the name is, how is this one doing? Have you visited them? No, I haven't. I haven't had time. Go and visit them or talk to them. It is to inspire you to do something better. Let's carry on. But if the name is tearing, breaking, then I think we are better off to go our separate ways because in the end we are sinning against God.
That's true.
This friendship is doing nothing for us.
That's true.
Thank you very much for listening to our podcast. I hope we have learned something about cultivating an authentic friendship. Thank you very much for joining us.